let's go ahead and get started. So you're gonna come to the top of your mat, flatten your feet out on the edge, lengthen through the spine, finding your neutral, and extend those knees up towards the ceiling. Reaching those arms overhead, draw the shoulder blades back towards your vertebrae. Inhaling, exhale to create a curvature through the spine, sinking into that tailbone, create a nice big C curve, lengthen through the fingertips. Inhale as you draw those shoulder blades back and lengthen through the crown. Exhale as you hollow out the torso, draw your rib cage in. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Inhaling, lengthening, and exhaling. Inhale as you lengthen, ground the heels, exhale. This time reaching arms overhead, keeping that rib cage drawing in towards the center of the body. Exhale as you create that C curve through the spine. Lengthen, rib cage stays in, shoulder blades draw away from the ears. Exhale as you C curve. Reaching overhead, hollow out the torso, lengthen through the spine. Exhale. Reach, ground those heels, knees stay parallel, and C curve. One more. And exhale. Extending the legs to the front of the body, flex the feet, ground the heels. Take the arms out to a T as you lengthen through the spine, fingertips reach wall to wall. Exhale as you circle to the right, 2 pulses. Inhale through the center, neutralize that spine, exhale to the left, 2 pulses. Inhaling through the center, exhale, each time reach a little bit further and cinch that waist like you're wringing out a towel. Concentrate on keeping those hips parallel. Avoid letting the weight shift side to side. Watch for any rocking through the hip line. Keep both heels grounded. Pause through the center, grounding both feet. We're gonna take it into a half rollback, reaching arms overhead, J curve through the spine, lengthen through the back, keep the heels grounded, exhale, come up and over. Articulate back through the spine, lengthening. Exhale as you draw back, C curve through the spine, ground the heels, knees reaching towards the ceiling, feel the belly button draw to the spine. Exhale as you come up and over. Articulate through the spine, inhaling. Exhale as you draw back into a C curve, heels stay grounded. Exhale. Articulate back up. Belly button draws to the spine. Half roll back. Pause in the center. Let's take it 2 pulses to the right. Pause through the center, 2 pulses through the left. Let's do this on each side one time, then we'll stay on one side and keep pulsing. Pause, bring it back to the right. Let's stay here for 10. Watch the hips, keep them grounded. Lengthen through the spine, 10. And pause through the center. Take it over to the left, recheck those hips in and switch. Good. Bring it back to the center. Roll down vertebrae by vertebrae so you're all the way down on the mat. We'll take it into imprint and neutral. Imprint is drawing the rib cage in towards the spine, pressing the spine closer to the mat, and pulling that pelvis back as you're drawing back without using the glutes and hamstrings. So feel lift of the pelvic floor, traverse abdominals. Then inhale as you roll out into more of a neutral spine, which is just a natural curvature of the lower back, and exhale into imprint. Using the abdominals, avoid using glutes and hamstrings. So big exhale here. Inhale as it draws out to neutral, just one more, and exhale. Holding imprint, unless you're very confident in neutral and you've done Pilates with an instructor and they've told you that imprint is safe for you. We're drawing legs up to tabletop. 90 degrees, imprint the spine. Inhale, lengthen the fingertips overhead. Exhale, circle around as you draw your rib cage closer to your hips. This cueing is good because it takes tension out of the neckline. Inhale as the fingertips draw back. Rib cage still drawing in towards the center of the body. Exhale as you circle around. Notice the legs are not moving. They maintain 90 degrees. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Drawing that belly button to the spine. Big concentration on pulling in through the center of the body. And exhaling around. Let's get 3 more. Then we'll add in some legs. 2. Last one. Hold it here. We're going to extend those legs out towards the back of the room, letting the knees come out to the side. Press through the inner thighs and the heels as they reach. Lengthen the toes up towards the ceiling. Head, neck, and shoulders can always come down and rest, but keep those palms up off of the mat slightly. Then bending the knees back down to more of a tabletop, and then pressing through the heels again. Exhaling. Inhale, lengthen through the toes. Heels come down, knees are apart. Exhale as you squeeze those inner thighs, bring those heels together, and pointing the toes, lengthen to an inhale. Heels draw down and back, keep them kissed together. Press away, lengthen through the toes. Check those ribs in, bring them up closer to the hip line. Big exhales. Inhale. Tension is avoiding hanging out in the neck, so we're drawing through the center of the body. Feel those inner thighs squeeze together. 1 more, and then we're going to take it right into your 100. Hang out here. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. Knees can come to tabletop. Head, neck, and shoulders can come down. You listen to your body. So inhaling, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. Inhale. Still exhaling through the mouth and inhaling through the nose. And exhale. Inhale. Only 30 more to go. And exhale. Bring those knees into the chest. Rest the head. Can rock side to side. We're going to take it into a jackknife here. So we're going to inhale as we reach our toes out towards the back of the room. Exhale as you bring your toes up overhead. So lengthening through the spine. If you've never done these before, avoid going over the head. Just take it up towards the ceiling and lift more like a reverse crunch. If you're ready to give this jackknife a try though, draw those rib cage in, lengthen the toes towards the ceiling, reach through the fingertips. Toes are coming up overhead as you stretch through the spine. Heels come apart and slowly lower those hips back down to the mat. Try to avoid letting those shoulder blades come up and over to try to compensate for the hips coming down. So keep everything really grounded into the mat. Dropping those toes down, rib cage draws in, inhale. Exhale, bring those legs overhead, separate and slowly lower it back down to the mat. We'll do 3 more. Dropping those toes, belly button draws to the spine. Exhale. Separate at the toes. Slowly control the vertebrae down. 1 by 1. Drop those toes. Up and over. Last one. Good taking it right into scissors. So extending those toes up towards the ceiling. Lift head, neck, and shoulders. Dropping one leg at a time. 2 exhales. Shoulder blades are drawing away from the ears. Toes are lengthening towards the ceiling. Belly button's drawing to the spine. Connecting with your breath. Very slow and controlled. Two. Last one. And draw it in. We're gonna take it right into teasers. So extending the legs wall to wall, reach through the fingertips. Teasers, you're just gonna lift your head, neck, and shoulders and your toes at the same time, continuously drawing your belly button in, coming up vertebrae by vertebrae, articulating back down vertebrae by vertebrae. So inhale to prepare, energy through the fingertips so we avoid any tension in the neck. Exhale as you come up, head, neck, and shoulders, bring those legs up. You can choose to keep your feet down on the mat. You can also choose to keep your legs in tabletop, or you extend them out into a V. Articulate back down. Energy through the toes. Take your time as you're lowering back down, inhaling. Exhale. Reach through the fingertips. Shoulder blades draw away from the ears. And articulate back down. Inhale. Exhale. Reach, taking your time, connecting with your breath. Exhale. Each time reaching a little bit further. Let's get one more. Slowly articulate back down. We're going to take it into a side leg series. So we can take it onto our hip. We're going to start on the mat and then we're going to come up to our knees. So bringing that bottom arm up underneath your head and stacking your rib cage, lifting through that bottom oblique. Hips are in the same plane, knees and toes are in the same plane. We're going to start with more of inner thigh and oblique, and then we're going to come up onto our knees. So if you want a little bit of a challenge, you can bring your head up onto your palm, keep a lengthening through your neckline, and the top hand can come up by your ear. Top leg is coming up off of the mat, bottom leg is going to come up and match. Avoid letting the upper body rock, and if you need to place your hand on the mat, that's fine too. Inner thigh squeeze, slow control down. Find that connection. Lots of abdominal support. Exhale as those toes come up and tap. Inhale as they lower. Feel that lower abdominal support as it maintains pelvis control. Last one. Then head, neck, and shoulders can come all the way down to the mat. Top hand comes over the hip line. Inhale to prepare. On your exhale, you're going to squeeze those inner thighs, lift the toes and the head, and then slowly lower it back down. Inhale. Make your lift happen through the torso, so big reach through the fingertips and slow control down. Squeeze the inner thighs, feel the glutes activate, belly button draws to the spine, and slowly articulate back down. Two more. And back down. Last one. And return. Let's bring it up onto our knee. Try to make sure you've stacked your knee right below your hip. Palm is going to come right below the shoulder line. We're going to lift and lower that top leg. So targeting more of your IT band, glutes. Point to lift, let's flex. to lower. Feel that lengthening through the side body. Point to lift, flex to lower. And flex. Good, keeping that tailbone tucked. Keep a lengthening through the spine. Keep going and lower. Lengthen through that side body. Pause at the top. Let's take it to mini circles. Mini circle forward. Lengthen through the spine. Energy through the side. Ribs drawing in. And reverse. Lengthen. And pause. 2 kicks forward, 1 kick back. Remember, you can always come down to the mat and restack the lines in the body and do this lying down on your side. Bringing it up onto your knee adds a couple different elements of challenge. If you're not quite ready for it, you can stay down on the mat. And pause through the center. Let's repeat on the other side. So we'll come all the way back down onto the mat, and we'll start with those inner thighs and side leg lifts on the other side. So we're all the way down on our side. Choose the same variation you did with your arms on the other side for this side. So bringing your hand all the way underneath or propping yourself up. Top leg is coming up. Really concentrate to bring that bottom leg up to match. Rib cage drawing in. Slowly lower it back down. Very mindful of the connections. Rib cage is drawing down, stacking the hips, squeezing the glutes. And slowly lower down. Bringing head, neck, and shoulders down, extending through the arms. Lower half and top half are lifting up off the mat, squeezing the inner thighs. So we're bringing it up, lengthening through the spine, reach through the toes, slowly lower it back down, inhaling. Squeeze through the inner thighs, reach through the toes as you exhale, and slowly control it back down. Really lifting through that side body as you bring your rib cage to your hip line as you lengthen through the fingertips. Finding those deep abdominal connections with every single breath. And bringing it all the way up to the knees. If you want to remain on your side for side leg series, that's acceptable too. Bringing the palms right below the shoulders. Bring head, neck, and shoulders in line with the spine. And we'll take it to side leg series. So pointing up, flexing to bring it down. And flex. Keeping that lengthening through the side. Avoid sinking back into the hip line, drawing those shoulder blades away from the ears so we're not hunching up into the upper back. One more pause, mini circles forward. Reach through those toes, lengthen through the spine. Belly buttons drawing into the vertebrae. And reverse. 10, 2, 1, 2 kicks forward, 1 kick back. Avoid letting the hip drop back too far behind you. So big exhales. Lengthen through the spine. Good. Keep a hollowing out of the torso as we draw the belly button back, but keeping space in there to move. Last one. And bringing it back to the center. We're gonna bring it back onto both knees. We're gonna target more through the glutes and the hips. So reaching through the spine, keeping a nice long torso. Extend the toe towards the back of the room. As you bring it up, avoid letting the hips open up. So one long line from shoulders to toes. Slow control back down. Inhale as the toe lowers. Exhale as you squeeze through the glute and lift it up. Inhale and exhale. Shoulder blades draw away from the ears. Rib cages drawing in and up. Belly button drawing up to the spine. Big squeeze. Feel that glute activation at the top. 2 more. Last one. Bringing a bend through the knee, we're just going to lower and lift through the heel. The knee is not coming all the way back down to the mat. Belly button's drawing in towards the spine. Connecting with the breath. Feel those hamstrings engage and pause at the top. We're going to lengthen through the heel here. Keep the rib cage and the hips in the same plane. Then just squeeze that heel back. So you're feeling an activation through your hamstrings. Lengthen. Try to keep that chin down a little bit so that we're not hiking through the cervical spine. Feel that squeeze through the top. So focus on the hamstring here. It's very easy to make this motion happen with just your quads. You just bend and stretch. I really want you to take a moment to squeeze through the hamstrings and pause. Last one we're going to finish with, come up onto your palms. You're going to lengthen through your toes, open it out to the side, and then extend to the back. Feel the obliques help with this action as you bring it up and over and back down. Those hips should be on fire, so keeping that toe up in line with the hip is a huge challenge. We just have one more on this side. And done. Switch legs. So you're gonna feel that the other side may be a little bit harder because the hip is already fatigued a little bit. So bring it down onto your elbows. Extend through the toes. We just have a lift and lower on this side. Keep the belly button drawing into the spine. Lengthen through the shoulder blades as they draw away from the ears. You're opening up that chest. Big reach through the toes. And pausing in the middle, let's bend the heel. We're just gonna lift and lower. Down to the mat, squeeze to the ceiling. If you have your palms together, just a light connection through the palms. Try to make sure you're not over squeezing. Keep the elbows grounded into the mat. We just have one more. And then pause. We're gonna get that heel extension. Feel that energy through the hamstring and squeeze back. Really concentrating on the hamstring itself. So it is helping with this action. Regardless of a weight being added, you're feeling those hamstrings engage. Last one. Then coming up onto all fours, we'll get that opener to the side, extending through the toe. Keep the hips in the same plane. They're obviously gonna move a bit to make it happen, but really concentrate on working them through the same plane, pointing the toes and lengthening. Belly buttons drawing to the spine. A lot of abdominal and torso support for the legs as it's moving. Notice the breath pattern. Inhaling as the toe draws back. 2 more. Exhaling as the toe reaches to the side. And done. You can sit back into child's pose, release those hips a little bit. Lengthening through the spine, dropping the head. Connecting with your breath. Articulating through the spine, come up on all fours. Let's get a cat-cow. We're gonna switch to work a little bit more of the upper body for the last part of this workout. Exhale, dropping the belly button, lifting through the crown. Inhale. And exhale. So if you have some dumbbells nearby, please grab a hold of them. Anywhere from 3 to 5s are usually appropriate. Last one. All right, we're gonna bring it to a seated position. We're gonna incorporate some weights in with some bridges, some roll-ups, and then some seated arm exercises. So bringing those dumbbells close by, we're gonna keep a hold of them in our hands. Go back down onto your mat and put one in each hand and roll back down. We're gonna take it into a roll up first. So a roll up, if you're not ready for a roll up, then I would avoid using the dumbbells to get up. I would just take it into your roll up, ground those heels, even bend the knees if you need to. Hands can come at your hips, just coming up really slowly. Some people aren't even ready for that, and that's completely fine. If that's the case, then just go back halfway and come all the way up instead of going all the way back down to the mat. And then you'll see what we do with our hands at the top. So inhale back. If you're ready for a full roll up, exhale, roll up vertebrae by vertebrae, taking your time, rib cage draws to the hip line, slowly raise it back up. Grab a hold of your weights at the hips. Extend towards the back of the room, try to keep it in the same plane as your shoulders and bring it back to center. If you're ready for this, then you can just keep a hold of your weights as we go through the roll up. If you're not quite ready for it, you can keep those weights just hanging out next to your hips and grab them when you get to the top. Reach overhead, and as you reach overhead, you feel those lats draw in and your rib cage draw in. Taking your time. You get more out of it the slower you go. Keep your knees facing the ceiling. Energy drawing the shoulder blades away from the ears. Find that neutral spine at the top. Sit up and out of the hips. Wake up those hamstrings. We're gonna get one more. Feel the chest draw together as you extend those weights away from the body. You'll also notice that when your weights are drawing away from the belly button, your belly button has to engage quite a bit more to stabilize your neutral. So notice here as you reach those arms overhead, how much you have to draw that belly button in to control your torso line. All right, we're gonna take you into biceps. So draw back into a J curve. Bring those legs up to tabletop. Exhale as you bring those fingertips up towards the shoulders and lower it back down. Connecting with the breath, lengthening through the fingertips. Ground the hips. Get ready here, we're gonna add some overhead presses. And pause, bring it to the shoulders. Add a press, return. Keep that energy through the spine. Big exhales. Lengthen through the fingertips. Last one. Get rid of the weights, and while we're here, let's get a little bit more for the abdominals. So take it into more of a bicycle. Pause. Opposite toe. Reach. Lengthen through the spine. Belly button's drawing to the vertebrae. Crown is reaching towards the ceiling. Big exhales. lengthen. Straighten out that leg. Feel the energy through the inner thighs and the outer thighs as you squeeze. Belly button's drawing in. Last one, draw those knees in. Roll back very slowly onto the mat. Inhale as you come back. Exhale to sit all the way up. We'll get into a few little spinal rolls. Belly button scoops up and in. Keep those inner thighs drawing together. One more. And exhale. Very good. Let's flip it over onto our stomach. Before we do a few stretches, I'd like to hit just a couple posterior exercises. Drawing it all the way down onto your belly button. We're gonna target the upper back. So you're all the way back down on the mat. Arms are overhead. Squeeze the glutes, find that neutral spine. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Reach the thumbs up towards the ceiling as you lift up the heels. Draw the elbows back. Exhale as you circle. Bring those palms back to the mat and lower it down. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, squeeze. Reach and lower. Keep the chin down. Shoulder blades are drawing away from the ears. One more. Press yourself up onto your palms and your toes. Take it into a push-up position. We're gonna add push-ups with a leg pull before we stretch to finish out the workout. So extending through the toes, draw those shoulder blades back, bring those palms right underneath the shoulders. Bring one heel up, keep the hips in the same plane, point the toe, return to flexed position, lower it down, switch to the other side. Continuously drawing the belly button up to the spine and return. Add your push-up here. Slowly lower it down. Inhale and exhale. Let's do 3 total. Knees can come down to the mat. And then back to leg pull. Heel lifts, point, flex, lower. Heel lifts, point, flex, lower. 3 counts down and up. Last one. Right side lift, point, flex, lower. Lower, lengthen through the crown. 2. Last one. Pause, take it up to a down dog, just get a nice big stretch. Press through the heels, press through the palms. Reach through the belly button as it extends up towards the ceiling. Ground your fingertips. Rib cage is drawing in. Belly button's drawing to the spine. Feel that connection through the upper half of the body. And return back to a push-up position. Knees can come down, take it into child's pose. Press those hips back, rest the head. Lengthen through the fingertips, reaching them out towards the top of your mat as you sink into the hips. Feel the opening up through the torso, so allow the rib cage to expand in the upper back. The scapula now separate away from each other. And exhale. Articulate up to all fours. Let's bring it into a butterfly position. So knees are going out to the side, toes are coming together, bottoms of the feet. Lengthen through a neutral spine, but then I want you to take your hands behind your back and you're gonna feel the chest and the spine open up. So lengthening through the back, reach through the front of the body. So allow that sternum to open up. Even breath. Up and out of the hips here. Belly button's drawing to the spine. Sternum is lifting towards the ceiling. And And then allow the weight to shift back into the hips as you bring your arms up and over. Hollow out the torso, so bring that belly button in towards the spine, reach through the fingertips. For some people, that stretch is just as far as your toes. But go out as far as you comfortably can without forcing it. And then articulate back to neutral. Let's release out the neck. So just crisscross applesauce, dropping the head to the side. Lower that ear down towards your shoulders, but also extending some energy into that posing shoulder so you feel that stretch to the side of your neck. Keep a lengthening through your sternum. Focus on keeping your shoulders parallel as well. So we don't want to sink into one side. We want to maintain a neutral torso. As we connect with the breath, we're drawing up and out of the hips. Then pause through the center and take it over to the other side. Dropping the ear to the shoulder, extending some energy into that side of the neck as you drop through the opposing shoulder. Then back through neutral, just drop the chin to the chest, drawing the shoulder blades away from the ears. Sitting up and out of the hips still. And back to center. We'll finish with 2 deep breaths today. So reaching those arms to your side. Inhale as you bring those palms overhead. Reach through the fingertips. Exhale as you bring those palms back down. Inhale as we lengthen and reach. And exhale as you draw those palms back to the mat. Thank you for joining me today, and I will see you next time.